Hi, welcome back. There was a good response to last year's best of video, so I thought I'd do another selection this year. These are the images that I've come across that I feel stand out above the rest. I also thought it might be interesting to add a photo book section. The news this year has been particularly interesting with the ongoing war in Ukraine, the Israel conflict, the US election, the US border crisis, hurricanes, fires and floods. I'll run the images in sections and comment where I feel it's necessary, but otherwise enjoy the work. AP photographer Evan Vushi has been covering Trump for 8 years before he got this shot at the Butler rally. I realize that Trump is either loved or loathed, so I'm not going to go there, but purely from a photographic point of view, I believe that Vushi should win a second Pulitzer Prize for this moment. His first was taken during the George Floyd riots in 2020. During the Pennsylvania rally, Vushi heard gunshots and ran towards the stage as the Secret Service agents were starting to shield Trump. Because of his experience, Vushi was able to slow time down and work through the questions that would inform his next decisions. He had to anticipate what was going to happen next, where Trump was going to be moved to, and where he should stand next. Given the circumstances, this seems like an almost impossible shot to get. Trump's fist is raised, the sky behind him is clear blue, and there's no clutter, just the flag fully within the frame. The expressions on the faces of all the Secret Service agents are clearly visible, and a smear of blood runs from Trump's ear to his cheek. The composition is fantastic, and he's got good depth of field. So everything is in focus. All of the faces are pin sharp, so we can engage with the experience of the Secret Service agents as well as with Trump. came across this work of Terra Fondriest, and it's such a good example of someone who's woven personal images of her family within a broader story of the community in which she lives. The project was started in 2016, but the essay started to gain traction this year, being published and included in photo festivals. Her family is the first generation to live in the area, and she's used the essay to connect with the slow and quiet beauty of the Ozarks. The essay is tender and real, and you can sense that she isn't shooting from a visitor's perspective. The images reflect her daily experiences, the routines followed by her family, and her interactions with the locals. The images are well composed, and even though nothing particularly dramatic is happening, the essay engages the viewer. Alejandro Segarra is a Venezuelan photographer who won this year's World Press Long-Term Project Award. The project is called Two Walls. His experience as a migrant motivated him to capture these pictures of people making their way to the US. He says that it was difficult photographing and interacting with these people, knowing that many of them might experience extreme hardships and also not achieve their goal. The porous US border became one of the most dominant election issues this year. Although between 10 and 20 million migrants entered the country illegally, hundreds of thousands suffered rape, robbery, or kidnapping at the hands of the drug cartels. The image shows a man walking on top of a freight train known as the Beast. Migrants and asylum seekers who lack the financial resources to pay a smuggler often resort to using cargo trains to reach the United States border. It's extremely dangerous, and many have fallen onto the tracks. Crystal White is an Australian storm chaser. She gave up a career of shooting sports at the Sydney Morning Herald in order to chase storms. Over the past decade, she's built up a following as an adventure photographer, climbing canyons and chasing tornadoes. Within her images, there's a sense of the excitement and danger that she's experiencing, but also she captures the beauty of these stormy landscapes. Wing Shire is best known for the stills that he took on Wong Kar-wai's films. His shots are filled with saturated color, and they have a dreamy, sensual feel. They also evoke a strong sense of longing. He admits that he initially didn't really know much about photography and had to learn from his mistakes. Much of this work was shot between takes rather than during the actual filming. So he's capturing liminal moments while the actors are still getting into character or performing outside of the boundaries of the script. So unconsciously he was expanding on the film's narrative, creating a sense of mystery. This is a lot more than your average coffee table book. Drew Doggett has a particular love and eye for photographing horses. His background is fashion photography, and he's applied his aesthetic to these beautiful animals. Wild breeds were his initial focus for the book, but he extended it to include sport horses from the equestrian world. He did a lot of traveling in search of these wild breeds. In Iceland, this band is descended from Viking horses. The horses of the Camargue are an ancient breed that has roamed the area for centuries. About 100 miles from the Canadian province of Nova Scotia, there's a small sliver of land that is populated entirely by wild horses. There are about 450 of them, and they are the only full-time residents of Sable Island. They seem to thrive in this sandy environment with dune grass and just a few freshwater ponds. I hope that you enjoyed that selection of work, and I'll run a few more at the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.